Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So I've had a lot of people request over the past few months, can you please play Twisted Fate in low elo and show me how you climb with him? What am I doing wrong? Is this champion even good in low elo, etc, etc. So I thought, since I've got this account now, it's in low elo, been doing my unranked to challenger series, I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to put a bunch of games on TF and really kind of figure it out for myself. Now, on this account specifically, because my MMR is so good, I've been playing with silvers, golds, and platinum. So this strategy now I've tested in all these ELOs works in silver, gold, and platinum. Now, specifically, I've now won about 15 games in a row. I think I've lost like one game, which was a pretty much unwinnable game, but nearly every single game I've just won, and doing this exact same strategy. Now, there's a few reasons why I actually think TF is actually really good in low elo. Now, number one, you don't get punished in lane nearly as much as you do in high elo, so you can just get away with a free laning phase a lot of the time. Secondly, you don't get punished by junglers nearly as much if you just ward appropriately, because junglers don't really do creative pass, they're not really that aggressive, it's really easy to get away with laning phase. Thirdly, no one takes cleanses, they don't build QSSs, no one builds to counter your CC. So you have a lot more threat than you usually would on Twisted Fate, which I found really, really fun to play. And then lastly, everyone's map awareness is very, very low. So you'll find that there's just a ridiculous amount of opportunities to make plays, which I'll show you within this video as well. Now you may ask, well, what am I doing wrong? What are the main things that you think I'm doing wrong? Why aren't I able to climb in with Twisted Fate and low elo? Now, there's a few things I've probably reasoned after playing myself in low elo, which is one, you're either playing too fast, so you're playing the game at a way too fast pace where you're not slowing it down, you're not focusing on your XP, your CS, getting good bases, items, spikes, etc. You're either just not focusing on CS whatsoever, you're missing way too much CS, and like I've said in all my Twisted Fate videos, making sure that you hit as much CS as possible is extremely important because Twisted Fate is an extremely item-reliant champion, and I'll show you within this video as well. Thirdly, maybe your side lane awareness is just really poor. Maybe you're just missing a bunch of awareness, and maybe that's a learning objective that you need to set for yourself, because again, I will show you in this video how many opportunities I saw, and this was a game where I had 2 losing sides. And then lastly, maybe you're not patient enough, because again, with this specific strategy, you got to be very, very patient. Wait for the right opportunities, continue to focus CS, and I promise opportunities will arise. Or maybe you just don't understand the 1v1 matchup, and that will come with time, guys, and I'll try and explain, because I actually play this specific VOD is actually Twisted Fate versus LeBlanc, and I'll kind of explain a few Twisted Fate concepts to see if maybe that will help you understand matchups a lot more on Twisted Fate. Now, getting into the gameplay, guys, I just want to quickly cover my runes. Now, I've tried a bunch of differing rune setups, and I know I've heard from you guys in the community that a lot of you don't really feel comfortable using Unsealed Spellbook, which is completely fine. In low elo, another rune page that I've been using and experimenting with is the Comet page. This is what I used to take back in the day with Twisted Fate, and it's still really solid. Now, you just go Arcane Comet into Mana Flow Band, Transcendence into Gathering Storm, and then finish that off with Magical Footwear and Dematerializer. Now, this is a very easy to execute build, a rune page, sorry, and it's really, really reliable, and you should always be looking to take Teleport. Yes, you can go the Electrocute with Ignite route, but again, I've tried that, and yes, it's okay. I just feel like it's way less reliable than this page specifically, and I hate taking Ignite on Twisted Fate personally. I feel like, and this game was a really good example. If I had Ignite, I would have been at a way less, like a way worse position than if I had Teleport, and I found that by trying both of these out, the Comet and the Teleport page just works a lot more reliably. Now, straight away, what's the first thing that you should be thinking about heading into the game? Well, we need to look at the setup of the enemy summoner spells. Now, like I said in just before, no one takes cleanse. So straight away, there's got no cleanse bot lanes, no cleanse mid. So most mid laners from silver to platinum, none of them really take cleanse or any defensive. They just take, majority of them actually just take ignite. Now, I found that whenever I have a teleport versus ignite advantage, if I don't give this guy the opportunity to use Ignite in the early portion of the laning phase, I'm going to come back with either a Ruby Crystal and a Null Magic Mantle or even a Catalyst if I can get to it, and I'm going to be off to the races. I'm going to be fine, I'm going to be unkillable, and LeBlanc's going to be extremely frustrated, and I'm just going to scale a lot harder than LeBlanc. Now, what's the next thing you need to look at? Well, just looking at the vulnerability of the lanes to my ganks. Now, Ornn versus Maokai is actually really suboptimal for me because this is a really hard lane. I mean, Maokai is not going to really chunk this Ornn too much for me to get a kill, and even killing Ornn is It's really hard in the first place because he's so tanky. But bot lane, on the other hand, is really good. 2 immobile champions, which, you know, none of which are taking cleanse. Very squishy as well. That's where I'm going to be mostly looking to set up my kills. Now, in terms of the early laning phase, guys, when you verse these assassins, generally, 1 or 2 things is happening. Now, if we just get to the laning phase quickly. So, you got, like, the assassins like Diana, LeBlanc. What's another one? Diana, LeBlanc, maybe even Zed. Some of these really, I mean, assassins at level 1 and 2, they're not too bad. But then you've got the assassins like Fizz and Kiana. Well, Fizz and Kiana level 1 and 2 is actually pretty bad, because you can actually build waves into them and actually poke them under tower, and because their level 1 and 2 is so bad, you can build that wave and poke them. Now, with assassins like this, and Dinah as well, you can't really do that. And generally what you need to do is, okay, if I can't punish them, like build a wave and punish them under tower, I'm either just want to keep it in the middle or keep it on my side slightly, and then wait for a good opportunity when he's low to go for a tempo base with TP, come back, and then start asserting my dominance over the lane through control, getting wards, etc. Now, what's the first thing? If he hits the wave, I'm hitting the wave, because again, that's a really simple strategy, just to keep it in the middle. Now, what's the first thing that you notice, guys? And this is a really big problem I see in a lot of Twisted Fate players. You shouldn't just use W randomly when you're versing a lot of these champions that can trade onto you level 1. Now, okay, now W is actually super important. So your W has a lot of, I believe it's called pick a card, correct me if I'm wrong. It has a lot of uses. Obviously it has the offensive capability with, you know, with your blue and your red card, but it also, it's like that's one route, but you've also got a second route, which is your self peel. Now, Twisted Fate having being a very immobile champion, your gold card is extremely important for self peel. Now, generally when you verse assassins, if I use my W level 1 like this, it's going to be sending signals to this guy saying, oh, well, I mean, what other skirmish potential does this guy have if he just uses his W? So he's going to be looking to walk up and W me, which is going to potentially make me miss CS. Now, you have to make a choice, guys, as a Twisted Fate player. And a lot of the time, you need to make a choice. If I just hold my W, there is an inherent form of threat or inherent level of threat by just holding it, which is actually going to prevent this guy from just going to look to trade onto me, because I can just trade back equally with my W. If he W's on me, I can just W him. Now, if I hold it, then he can't. So most likely you'll find that this guy just won't do anything, and you're just gonna. He's either just going to be scared to use it, or he's just not going to want to use it at all, and then it's going to make this lane quite stale. Now, if I were to use my W on the farm, then yeah, he's going to look to play quite aggressively, and if I do that, I have to walk back, respect, and wait for my W to come back up. So that's just a very simple thing, but you'd be surprised how many Twisted Fate players are very, what's the word? They're very blasé about the way they use their W, and they get themselves into pretty sticky situations because they're not very careful with the way they use it. Now, again, notice I'm constantly tethering this guy. I'm not really allowing him to heavy trade onto me, because again, Twisted Fate doesn't really want heavy trades specifically in the early game, because I either want to get to 1100 gold for Catalyst, or I wouldn't be too mad with around 850. Because that would allow me to get like a Ruby Crystal, some HP, and a Null Magic, which is some MR, which is really, really effective in these lanes that are quite aggressive. Now, again, notice I haven't used my W yet once. And then I start to use my W once just to kind of thin the wave a little bit, CS from a distance. But notice straight away when I use my W, I'm walking back to make sure I'm not enraged for this LeBlanc to trade back onto me, because I know my W's down. So I'm very much respecting this guy, giving him the respect that he deserves. He's a LeBlanc, slowing down the pace of the lane, playing very, very patient, focusing on my CS as much as I can. And I will never trade onto the LeBlanc at the sacrifice of CS, especially in the early game, because my CS is way more important. Like there, I could have maybe used my Q or whatever, walk up and W'd him, but I would way rather use my Q on the minion wave. And sometimes this is actually what I like to do here. It's a neat little trick. This minion was actually about to die, and what I actually do is I just press my W and walk up, and don't actually select a card. I just leave it flicking through all 3 of them. And what that is actually doing is send signals to this guy that, oh, maybe he's looking to trade onto me. But all it's doing is I'm generating threat by picking a card, but then just getting that creep and then just walking backwards without actually picking a card. But now, no, when I do pick a card, and this is another strategy what you can do in a lot of these assassin matchups, is just hold the gold card. Now, holding the gold card is actually a really neat little trick you can do, because if you hold the gold card, it can actually just it can actually make this guy quite scared to walk up and potentially make him miss CS. So you can make it, say, for example, this creep here was really low. You can select your gold card, walk up here a little bit, and then this guy has to make a choice: take a gold card to the face or miss this CS. Or, you know what I mean? So basically, holding gold card is a neat little trick. Now, obviously, it has that obvious upside, but there's a big downside, right, guys? Now, if I pick my gold card like this and I use it onto him like that to proc my mana flow and my comet, because he greeted for the CS. Now, I don't have any self-peel, so I need to respect. And look at this. I walk all the way back, and whenever LeBlanc gets near me, look how far back I'm standing right now. I'm like, I know I don't want this guy to get in range to trade onto me, because again, I'm taking 100 to 0 trades where I trade HP onto him, and he can't trade onto me. Now, these early river skirmishes traditionally aren't that good for Twisted Fate, but I'm not really fully committed into river here. I'm happy to walk in here, try and prevent this guy trying to get a gold card on him to keep it a 1v1, whatever. But it's it's good just to get in the habit of hovering and seeing what happens. I end up screwing up getting a red card instead of a gold card, but it is what it is. LeBlanc actually kills him. I don't get a kill, and he gets double buffs, but he ends up blowing his flash. Now, this is actually quite bad for me, obviously, because, you know, LeBlanc gets the kill and gets double buffs, which is, you know, pretty suboptimal. But this is a really good VOD, guys, because not only does LeBlanc get first blood and double buffs, my bot lane loses and my top lane loses. So I thought this was a really good VOD to kind of show you how I navigate such a game. Now, right now, what I'm thinking in my head is, well, this guy is double buffs, but again, remember, I have a utility advantage. And I know I can use that to my advantage to get back into this lane, you know, with full resources, which is a big advantage over this guy. Now, what's the main thing here? I'm nearing towards my 850 gold, which is a pretty good amount of gold to get on versus these assassins, because obviously Ruby Crystal, Null Magic Mantle. Now, I'm happy to take a heavy trade, because if we take a heavy trade here, guys, what's the main thing? Well, again, I'm going to be able to TP, and he's not. And this is what I found in so many elos. Mid lane is just completely underrate teleport. Now, I know he has no abilities now, so I was just trying to get the wave in for a little bit more farm, but then this fight breaks out, and I know that they don't have any sums. Here, I actually could have flashed on this guy and potentially killed him, but I didn't have enough mana for my Q, so I thought I'd just play a little bit slower and play for this Warwick, so I ended up just killing this Warwick. Now, the game's evened up a little bit here, in terms of 1-for-1, so I've got 1 kill, LeBlanc has 1 kill. Now, but what do I see? I have teleport, guys, so I can come back with my catalyst here. Really good for me. And you may ask, well, you don't have a pink and you don't have wards. Calm down, guys. I know. But what do we see? This guy's going to have to recall anyway, so I'm going to be able to get a second recall before he can even get back to lane the first time. Which is, again, the benefit of taking teleport. Now, what do? I want to keep this guy pinned in lane. And this is exactly what happens in so many of my games. If I play patient in the early game, I come back, I teleport. This guy's end up screwed because obviously there was an extended lane. It doesn't matter what the matchup is. Pretty much this exact scenario happens in nearly every single lane, whether you're versing an assassin, a mage, doesn't even matter. You could be versing a bloody Super Smash Bros. I'm just making a shitty joke here. I should just shut up. Now, it doesn't matter what you're versing. This specific situation will come up, okay? So this is exactly what you'll be looking for. We're teleporting back, keeping this guy locked in lane. My top lane is getting solo killed. It is what it is. But again, I'm happy for this specific situation. I have wards on both sides. I'm very safe. I can start getting damage on the tower, lean when Warwick shows like that. But again, LeBlanc's quite frustrated. He can trade onto me all he wants. I've got a catalyst over him. There's nothing he can do to me. Now Warwick's trying to help him out. Now look how bad this situation is for them. LeBlanc's going to have to miss a bunch of CS. I'm still focusing a lot on my CS. I'm really not getting, you know, that's actually one thing. My discipline on CS is extremely important. So I'm 29 CS. This LeBlanc's on 19 CS. So I'm 10 CS up. Now, notice this. I can actually get this whole next wave, like this, and get a whole nother recall on top of this guy. So I can come back with a refillable and a null magic or something like that before he's even came back to lane once. Now, I'm up quite a lot of farm, and this is the theme of how I play Twisted Fate. It doesn't matter. I don't even do anything fancy. And I even make a lot of mistakes in this game, but I still win because I get so ridiculously far ahead of my lane opponent that once it gets into mid to late game, I get so far ahead that I can just one-shot people because people don't itemize properly. Now, I'm just looking straight away what's going in the side lanes. My top lane's kind of getting destroyed, and I'm a little bit concerned about that because it's an Ornn, and Ornn's quite scary. But, you know, right now what I'm thinking is, well, I've completely already now neutralized this guy. Yes, he has a kill, but now look at my items. I have a Catalyst and a Null Magic. There's no, and a Doran's. There's no way this guy can beat me in trades anymore. So what you'll see in a moment is me just, again, focusing on my CS, not doing anything too special here. And if he I'm happy to take trades with him like this. If he stands in range of my gold card, I'll trade onto him. Otherwise, I should respect when my gold card is down. My bot lane ends up dying. They get like triple killed. So game's not looking too good. Look at this. Bot lane's losing now. They got triple killed. My top lane's losing. That's why I love this VOD, guys. This is a really good VOD to go over. Now, so either you're doing one or two things with Twisted Fate. You're either looking to play for the wave and using your W and Q on the wave, or you're holding it and waiting for this guy to come into range and trading back onto him. You really don't want to be trading like this. You really don't want to be trading like this where your W is down. But notice what I do. When I use my W on the wave like this, look how far back I stand and respect. Look at this. Look how far back I am. And look, I'm not in range for W here. Very, very... I don't even know if this... Is that Q damage or W? I don't know if that's Q or W damage. No, it's actually W damage. But look, it just does nothing anyway. But ideally, I should be tethering him, not letting him W onto me. And it just shows how little damage that does. But I trade back onto him, hit one Q, and because he's so squishy, you know, I trade back onto him and even win that trade just with one single Q and like an auto attack. Now, the aim of the game at the moment is, well, again, I don't want to be ulting onto something and screwing up my ult. Ideally, I want to make sure my ult's 100% a kill here. And notice how my wave clear is so good that I can just sit back and I don't have to interact with this guy. I can actually play co-op versus AI. I can use my W and my Q on the wave like this, respect CS from a distance. If he trades into me, if he walks up like this, I'm happy to gold card, force him out a little bit like this. But notice, look how frustrating this is for LeBlanc. I can just play for the wave, and if he trades onto me, I'll just gold card his face, and I win the trade anyway. Like, he just can't interact because of these items. Now, the aim of the game right now, the mindset I'm in is, okay, I'm just going to have one side warded. I want to really focus on my CS. I want to be very disciplined on my ult usage. I want to continue to get good trades off like this, WQs like that, auto attack. And notice how I dodge to the side always. I don't run backwards. I always dodge to the side to dodge that chain out. It's just a nice little tip there. And I'm just hard winning these trades. Now, this is again going to force LeBlanc out of lane soon, which is going to get me even further ahead in CS. I'm still focusing on my CS as much as I can, trying to miss. I'm missing a little bit, but 53 at 7 minutes is not too bad given how chaotic it's been. Now I'm just hovering towards my jungle. Ideally, I don't want to be ulting top, and I see that. I know they go for a kill here, and look how disciplined it is. I just decide to go no. Even if I get this kill on this Ornn, it's not going to change the way the top matchup goes, so I literally just don't. I just ignore them, and they get double killed again. So everything's actually kind of falling apart at the moment. This jungler's died a lot. My top lane is inting. And they're getting dragons. It's not looking good. But again, I'm still playing co-op versus AI, leaning towards my vision. And look at this. I can actually just get free recalls like this. Because my wave clear is so good, and I'm focusing on my CS, and LeBlanc and a lot of assassins have such poor wave clear, you can get these tempo... This is what I call a tempo base, guys. Where you shove the wave in, and while they're reacting to the wave, I can go back for a tempo base. Now... You may ask, well, you're not really doing anything, Curtis. But yes, this is exactly how I've won nearly 15 games in a row. I don't go crazy. I don't do any crazy micro shit. I just play very cool, calm, collected, focus on my CS, and trust me, they're dying, but everyone's dying, everyone's getting out of control. I feel so confident knowing I'm 20 CS up now in my lane. I know that once the game, because the game will open up. What I've realized in low elo, the game will open up and everyone's awareness is so low that I'll start to get a ridiculous amount of picks and then start to snowball out of control. And the more farmed I am before that point, the more damage I will have, which will make it easier for me to make those plays. So right now, I'm trying to just continue to farm my best. putting my pink on bot side because I think that's where I'm going to be most likely using my ultimates. I really don't want to be ulting this tanky Ornn. Like, I don't even think I can kill him anyway. So again, I'm just focusing on my CS. And notice straight away, this LeBlanc actually decided not to recall. So he ends up, I know now, he has to recall in a second. Now, I actually completely scrubbed this. I accidentally get a blue card. This was a free kill. I actually could have just ulted behind them. But I couldn't because I actually took a blue card. So I just, and because I knew that if I went for this ult and missed it, like, it would be game over. So I actually don't choose to do it, except my mistake of getting a blue card. And it just shows, dude, like, this game, I make so many mistakes and I still win. I mean, even getting flamed by my team, like, Twisted Fate, what are you doing? And I still win because, again, I'm just focusing on my farm. And you'll see in a second, I just get absolutely out of control. And already got one plate on my own. I'm going for a second plate. And it's not a big deal. More opportunities will arise. If this was high elo and that I missed that opportunity, yes, that would be a problem. But in low elo, that specific situation is going to happen so many times. Now, I get 2 plates on my own. I lean on bot side again just to make sure nothing happens. Put a ward on one side. You always basically want to have one side to lean to, but again, it looks a bit sketchy. My jungler's not really there, and I don't really know what. It was just sketchy, so I didn't want to go for that ult. Again, you got to be very disciplined on your ult usage. Now, Ornn walks in. I see the enemy on in our jungle now, so I'm like, all right. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you're patient, you play for farm, these opportunities will present themselves. This, again, my team would have lost that fight if I wasn't there. And it just shows. I just get a shutdown on this Ornn. Like, I haven't done anything. All I'm doing is playing, being disciplined with my ultimate, waiting for 100% play, farming my ass off. And now I've got a ridiculous amount of gold. I've got my Mercury Treads. I've got my Roa. I'm working towards my Lich Bane. I've got a pink ward now. I've got 2 plates on my own. I ping LeBlanc going bot, but again, they're not going to listen. I don't even care if LeBlanc gets kills right now. I know. I'm so strong that LeBlanc won't even be able to operate in the mid game anyway. Now, again, instead of trying to react to this guy and teleport to that, like, no, I keep my teleport, I focus on pushing in mid, denying as much farm into this LeBlanc, and my main priority is breaking this mid tower on my own. If I can break this mid tower on my own, then I'm going to be in such a good position, because that's going to give me the freedom to make a lot more plays. Now, I weirdly screw up my ward there, which was really, really annoying. And I greed here. I see Warwick here, but I'm like, all right, well, I respect a little bit here. And I knew LeBlanc made a play bot, so I thought she was recalling. And there's a big wave bot, and so I'm like, well, there's no way Janna's not going to go bot, and there's no way Janna's going to roam. But what do? I just start shoving, thinking that everyone's actually reset. But LeBlanc ends up staying on the map. Janna ends up roaming, missing all that farm bot. I get exhausted, I get ulted by Warwick as well, and I die. Now, this is my second mistake this game. I give a shutdown away to the Warwick, and this just shows. I don't even play this game flawlessly. This now 2 big mistakes this game. Now, in high elo, that would be, that would nearly be game over, because Twisted Fate, you can't really make those mistakes. Now, again, it just shows how far ahead I am. I'm about 30 CS up. I've still held my teleport, so I come back, teleport mid, knowing that I have tempo on this guy because he has to recall. He hasn't recalled in ages. He has no corrupting pot stack, so I know that I'm going to be able to deny him a lot of CS as well. And again, I'm not attending any of these skirmishes. And look at this. LeBlanc ends up just going to all these skirmishes. LeBlanc goes top here. My jungler dies again, and LeBlanc just goes top and kills my Maokai. He's done that twice now, roam to sides. But again, I know I can out-carry. I know I can out-carry these guys. And again, I get another plate on my own, and I'm just continually playing for this tower. I've got 3 plates on my own now, and I know LeBlanc has to base, so I can potentially even get another plate, but I keep farming. 103 CS by 12 minutes. Getting absolutely out of control. I go for another plate here, and now my ultimate's coming up in 8 seconds, so as soon as my ultimate's up, I can potentially look for another play. Then I see my bot lane, the enemy bot lane. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Another perfect opportunity. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just waiting for the enemy to screw up. They step out of position and get 1 kill. And I chase this guy down with Yumi on my shoulder. We get the slow, chase, and we get another kill. Now look at that, guys. Like, okay, just take a second to absorb this. Look how OP. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I've literally played co-op versus AI. I haven't done anything. I've done 2 ultimates now. I've even made 2 pretty big mistakes in this game, and I'm 4-1. I'm way super far ahead of this LeBlanc, getting a ridiculous amount of gold. And this is the thing, guys. Like, this is why I'm actually starting to think Twisted Fate maybe is a really good low elo champion. And it makes me wonder, what is going wrong with you guys playing Twisted Fate low elo? It must be that you guys are screwing up too hard in the early game. You're not putting yourself in a position. You're maybe compensating. You're not farming well enough. Your ultimate usage is really poor. You're missing these opportunities. I don't know what it is, but I just wanted to make it clear this game, guys. Like, this is a chaotic, got high gold, low platinum game where everyone's blowing flashes. My side lanes are dying, and I'm just playing my own game. I'm playing my own game, my own way, and you know. And this is the thing, guys. And sorry, the last point I wanted to talk about specifically within this video was, I found it really funny, is that because no one builds cleanses or QSSs or merc treads, I actually become an insane team fighting champion where we can just play front to back and burst someone. Now, Twisted Fate in high elo doesn't really have that luxury because everyone actually builds to counter the Twisted Fate. So you end up just becoming this really suboptimal stun bot in mid game. But in this elo, because you're farming so well, I have the freedom to farm so well. I end up getting towers on my own because people don't value, the enemy mid laners don't value CS and experience and tempo. I end up getting a full tower on my own. I'm about 40 CS up, and I know that even if I don't get side lane kills, my team fighting threat and you know, there will be opportunities, but you know, in the worst case scenario there isn't, I'm still going to be an insane front to back team fighting champion who can just stun and go to the next target. Now, look at that. I'm 114 CS by 13 minutes. I'm 50 CS up on this guy. Got my Lich Bane. Now I've got 2 items by 13 minutes. I'm extremely fed. Now I'm just playing around my ultimate. So I come back to lane here, pinging my ultimate to the team. And yes, my bot lane's not really winning. My top lane's not really winning. It's a bit of an even on both sides. But again, I'm happy for this game to go extended out, and you'll see the longer the game goes out, the more opportunities there will be, and especially now that there's no mid tower. So now I just hover topside here, pinging that LeBlanc's moving bot, thinking that I could maybe help this guy topside, but I see this guy catches me in river, and this was my second mistake where I get caught in river by this Warwick, and then I end up dying here to them as well. So again, I've died twice now to this Warwick, given 2 shutdowns. I've already also missed that failed ultimate, and I'll show you, fast forwarding a little bit here, they take our blue buff, they take our whole top side, I come back, and look at this. Come back, and again, nothing special going on here, and I've even made mistakes, and it just shows there is room for error in Twisted Fate in these low elos. So I go to the next target, flash stun, boom. Again, now LeBlanc's died. What's my number one prerogative is to get this wave out, deny this LeBlanc as much, yes, continue being efficient as possible. And what do I see? The next person overextended, MF again. You'll just see this. There's so many opportunities. Look at this. And now, even if Kaiser's not here, I can just solo this guy anyway, but then Kaiser ends up getting the kill. Just getting kill after kill whenever my ultimate's up. And this is the beauty of, and I wish every high elo game was like this, but in high elo, people respect TF. They play around TF. They are consciously thinking, oh, TF has ultimate, I have to respect. And they don't give you these opportunities. I just find the games feel so easy because no one's respecting my ultimate. So I get some vision down, go back mid. I'm again constantly looking to prioritize farm. And again, grouping with my team. And I'm okay with these fights because I see Warwick bot side right now, so I know this is just a straight team fight. And now look at this. I just want to quickly talk about this. Look how hard it is for any assassin that doesn't take cleanse, how hard it is for them to navigate these fights. I take gold card, I go on LeBlanc, I half HP before she's even got in the fight. And then again, because my cooldowns are so low, I have 20% CDR. You just become a stun bot. Look at this, I'm just becoming a stun bot. And this guy ends up escaping, but it just shows, like, this ideally in a high elo match wouldn't even be a good fight. But because, again, no one's CSing, I'm so far ahead, no one's building Mercury treads or QSSs, things like that, my utility in these team fights is out of control. It's actually out of control. And again, I just sit mid, I turn into a wave clear bot again, still get insane priority. I'm still now 50 CS up on top of this, this LeBlanc. I should be about 160 CS if I didn't have 2 deaths, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Go back, work towards my Zhonyas. Now, the little thing of macro that you do need to talk about is you always got to tell your AD carry now to go mid. once they break bot tower, because TF is a lot better in the side lane because you can push it out really, really deep, create a man advantage. Now, I knew this guy had to reset, so I told him, Kaiser, go mid now after your reset, before this dragon. So I end up chunking this LeBlanc again. Feels bad, but it is what it is. I get this next wave out. I believe I go for the next wave. Do I go for the next wave as well? No, I just go to the side lane now. Because, I want to continue being efficient with my CS heading into the mid game. And how do you do that? You get waves whenever you can, and you ideally push the side waves all the way out to the side. And the beautiful thing about Twisted Fate is actually the fact that, and look at this, they're overextended again. I just get another ultimate. Again, people just giving me random opportunities. Like, my team, I'm literally just carrying my team through my ultimate. I let them clean it up. And then I kill this Janna on the back end again. But again, the trick to being efficient in terms of CS, guys, is when you do get into the side lane, the beautiful thing is that Twisted Fate can get to fights so easily with his ultimate. Now, a lot of champions don't have that luxury, so Twisted Fate can actually afford to be in the side lane knowing that he can get to the fights if a fight breaks out so easily. Like, you compare that with a champion like Ryze, guys. Let's say, let me draw on the minimap here. Let's just say I'm playing Ryze or a champion with teleport, like even just Syndra with teleport. And let's say I tell my team I'm scared my team's going to get engaged on, right? So I push all the way out and maybe a team fight happens and I TP too late and we just lose. But the thing with Twisted Fate is your ultimate is it's nearly instant. And it's so quick, and you don't even have to teleport to a minion, you can teleport anywhere. So if a fight breaks out, I can always get to the fight, and that's the beauty of TF compared to other split pushers or other people who wanted to be in the side lane, is that you can actually afford to be in the side lane knowing that you can get to the fight. Now I just teleport now bot, just for efficiency, knowing that we're most likely going to be playing for this Infernal Dragon. Then Warwick ends up sneaking it. I'm like, well, I can't really do anything there, so again, I'm just prioritizing my CS, but then he ends up just getting soloed by Warwick. It is what it is. And I'm trying to collapse onto this Warwick, knowing my team's coming. But notice there, I just went into the side lane, pushed it all the way out, make someone actually have to catch the side wave. You know, rinse, repeat. Now I tell Maokai to go bot, and I end up going top. So fast forwarding, I get the next mid wave knowing my AD carry's dead, and I go straight to another side lane. Just a little bit of basic macro here. The reason I'm going top here, guys, is because Baron's the next objective, and Dragon's already down. And I believe Maokai has TP before me. But more importantly, again, I want to be the one that's played towards. And if we play towards bot side, they can potentially Baron. So that's why we need I need to be top. And then I kind of spot them out here. And then they dive, and again, I'm just playing very opportunistic here. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just playing very opportunistic, waiting for the right moments. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just using basic map awareness to look at what's going on in the map and just playing these team fights front to back. And notice how, like, I make it look so easy. Because it is easy. Once you get the micro down pat of Twisted Fate, like, that's the hardest bit of Twisted Fate. The hardest bit of Twisted Fate is literally just the micro. Once you feel comfortable playing the champion in terms of moving, his gold cards, his damage output, once you get that down pat, everything else is very, very simple. Now look at this. Again, I haven't done anything simple in these fights. All I'm doing is playing next target with my stun card. I'm going to a side lane, waiting for someone to overextend ulting. Using basic map awareness, basic wards, and knowing that when my W is down, there's way more threat on me. Again, just really basic Twisted Fate fundamentals, guys. And then I ping this Baron. We end up playing for this Baron. Nothing too special. And again, what happens here? He get engaged on, so I had to try to back him up. And again, look at this. It's just constant like waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for people. And now I've got my Zhonya's, I can play quite aggressively. This is something that I recommend, is bait plays, especially once you get your Zhonya's. You can start to play pretty crazy and just do these crazy aggressive ultimates, knowing that you have Zhonya's, and this is exactly what I do. Fast forwarding a little bit, we push down mid, and I believe we get another pick here. And again, just constantly looking to go in the side lane. Nothing too special going on here. So I kind of want to leave it at that. So this is a bit of a short video, but I really wanted to highlight how easy it is to play Twisted Fate. Now, there's a few caveats to this, guys. If you are someone who is like a silver player, Twisted Fate, mechanically and micro-wise, is a bit of a difficult champion. I recommend there's either one or two things. I recommend that you put either a lot of time, maybe in normal games on Twisted Fate, to get the micro down pat. If it doesn't feel comfortable with you, don't force it. Maybe pick up Twisted Fate in the future, but if the micro or the mechanical element of Twisted Fate is something that you're already quite comfortable in, then I would recommend using this video as a bit of a guideline. And really, if you have any questions about Twisted Fate, and I could maybe, I guess, reason, even just looking at your OPGG, just tell you what's going wrong. But if you are a beginner mid laner, Twisted Fate can be quite a tricky champion to pick up in that sense, because it is a little bit niche. So I wouldn't force it. Only if you really love the champion, I would play Twisted Fate as well. So hopefully this video kind of helps out. I mean, it's really worked for me. Yes, obviously there's an element of it that I have challenger or like high elo map awareness and side lane awareness and warding, etc. And we'll get into that all in other videos. But I just kind of wanted to highlight and debunk the myth that Twisted Fate is bad when your side lanes are losing. So hopefully this video helps you guys. And cheers and thanks for watching.